Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Warriors announce unfortunate news during Kings game. The Golden State Warriors, 21-21, and Sacramento Kings, 22-20, entered Wednesday night's game at Golden One Center with just one game separating them in the Western Conference standings. Two Pacific Division teams, Golden State and Sacramento, are both competing for playoff spots. Warriors head coach Steve Kerr made a starting lineup change for this matchup, opting for an opening five of Steph Curry, Buddy Hield, Gary Payton II, Andrew Wiggins, and Kevin Looney. Swapping out Dennis Schroeder and Tracy Jackson-Davis for Hield and Looney, Kerr switched things up after Golden State's 125-85 blowout loss to the Boston Celtics on Monday night. During the second half of Wednesday night's game, the Warriors announced unfortunate news on one of Kerr's new starters. Kevin Looney, ill, will not return to tonight's game, the Warriors announced in a post on X. Appearing in his 37th game of the season, Looney finished Wednesday's game with 0 points and 2 rebounds in 9 minutes of action. The three-time NBA champion entered the game averaging 5.3 points, 6.9 rebounds, and 1.8 assists per game on the season. While Looney did not score in his 9 minutes of play, the Warriors outscored Sacramento by 6 points when he was on the court. Looney has started just 6 of his 37 games this season. The Warriors entered this contest just 1-4 when he gets the starting nod. Not on the initial injury report with an illness, Looney seemingly began feeling unwell during the game. Kerr may provide an additional update when meeting with reporters post-game. Golden State Warriors guard Steph Curry has made it clear he wants a 5th NBA championship. Winning his first Finals MVP award in 2022, Curry tallied his 4th NBA title. Eliminated by the Los Angeles Lakers in the 2023 Western Conference semifinals, Golden State failed to make the playoffs in 2024 when it was eliminated in the play-in tournament. Now 21-21 and 11th in the Western Conference standings, the Warriors look far from a title contender. Because the 36-year-old Curry remains one of the game's best players, the Warriors have been involved in several NBA trade rumors as they attempt to upgrade around him. One decision the Warriors have made clear: they will not sacrifice the future for an all-in push to win another championship with Curry. Warriors coach Steve Kerr reiterated this in an interview with ESPN's own Young Masuk. Kerr says the three have talked among themselves multiple times about how the Warriors need to be responsible and not sacrifice potential future franchise cornerstones for a move now that has no guarantee of getting the Warriors into the playoffs, let alone making a deep run, Young Masuk wrote. As Kerr noted, this is a decision Curry and veteran teammate Draymond Green agree with. Curry spoke for himself with ESPN, sharing his reaction to Golden State's decision to take a more conservative trade deadline approach. "My hope is that, if there's no action at the deadline, it's not because of a lack of effort," Curry told ESPN. "If we don't have a chance to get better, my whole thing is I want to win, and whatever that means, all efforts are pointed toward that, then I can kind of live with whatever happens." Curry added, "You have to have some reasonability on what a big trade actually means, because, 1, trades are really hard to make. The idea that there's this magical deal that can solve everything is what it is." This decision by the Warriors is controversial among fans who want to see Curry get another opportunity to chase a title. Averaging 22.9 points, 4.9 rebounds, and 6.1 assists, the star point guard remains among the game's most productive players. Santos shines with career highs despite Warriors' brutal loss. Steve Kerr tried using yet another starting five Wednesday with hopes of putting some spark back into the Warriors' offense. Santos wasn't exactly a big part of those discussions, but still gave Golden State's coach the type of night he had been hoping for in the Warriors' 123-117 loss to the Kings at Golden One Center. The 22-year-old, who spent most of the early part of the season bouncing back and forth between the Warriors and their G League affiliate in Santa Cruz, was crisp and played with a definite zeal during his 22.5 minutes of playing time. Santos put up career highs in points, 16, and three-pointers, 4, to go with 5 rebounds and 2 assists, and broke even in the plus-minus department. Consider that 7 of the 11 players that Kerr used finished with minus numbers. Santos took clean open shots from the perimeter and made nice cuts toward the basket when he wasn't setting up at the perimeter. Afterward, Santos was in no mood to take credit for his performance. In his mind, he simply was in the right place at the right time. When you have Steph Curry playing by your side, it makes you a lot more comfortable, Santos said. Every team that we play against, they trap on Steph, and that gives us a lot of options. Now I'm feeling way more comfortable because I know when I'm setting screens for Steph, I know exactly what I have to do. A second-round pick in the 2022 NBA draft, Santos has been one of the Warriors' best stories in a season that hasn't had a whole lot of positivity. After playing in only 7 of Golden State's first 29 games in between trips to Santa Cruz, Santos has developed into one of Kerr's regulars off the bench. His performance against the Kings wasn't exactly mind-blowing, but it did show how effective he can be in the right situation. And in the right situation Wednesday, Santos' impact went beyond the stat sheet. He hit a clutch three-pointer to give the Warriors a lead midway through the fourth quarter. Less than a minute later, Santos grabbed an offensive rebound following a missed free throw by Tracy Jackson-Davis and scored on the putback. Santos also was one of the few Warriors who played steady defense while matched against Sacramento's DeMar DeRozan. DeRozan scored 32 points, but needed 21 shots to do so. Not a bad night from a guy who spent many nights going back and forth between San Francisco and Santa Cruz. I never took that as a challenge, Santos said of his time in the G League. I always took that like opportunity for me to keep grinding. I know my time will come. We play a lot of games, and sometimes guys are not going to be well. I know at some point that's going to happen, so I was okay. I got to keep working, keep grinding, and be ready. An opportunity was there for Santos on Wednesday, and he made good on the chance that he had. Why Shaq wants Warriors to trade for Butler ahead of NBA deadline. It's no secret that the 21-21 Warriors likely need to make a big move ahead of the NBA trade deadline in order to be competitive during the 2024-25 season. Given Jimmy Butler's very public ongoing dispute with the Miami Heat, which continued to crumble Wednesday with his reported second-team suspension, the 6-time NBA All-Star frequently has been linked to Golden State as a possible destination. Earlier this week, NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal explained why he'd like to see Butler team up with Steph Curry by the Bay. "I would like Butler go to Golden State," O'Neal told co-host Adam Lefkoe on The Big Podcast with Shaq, hat-tip clutch points. "Because when he was in Miami, he used to drive me crazy, get all the way to the lane and kick it out for a three. I'm like, bro, lay the damn ball up." So, that'll work in Golden State with all of the shooters they've got. However, reports have cautioned the likelihood of a Butler to Golden State deal, and NBC Sports Bay Area's Warriors insider Monty Poole doesn't see it happening either. But that hasn't prevented any speculation about what that possible marriage could look like at Chase Center, including from the big Aristotle himself. It's certainly an interesting concept, as adding a 5-time NBA All-Defensive Team member would bolster an already strong Warriors defense. Perhaps more importantly, Butler would fill a major need as a dangerous scorer, particularly in the clutch. But the on-court fit isn't the controversial aspect of the trade suggestion. Not only could the steep acquisition price scare off Warriors general manager Mike Dunleavy, but Butler's erratic personality might cause some issues in a locker room that already contains the ever-unpredictable Draymond Green. With 2 weeks remaining until the trade deadline, Golden State doesn't have very long to make a decision on Butler or any other possible moves. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Jimmy Butler? Leave your opinion in the comments.